Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. This time we will be looking at what would happen if the previous finalists chose the teams. In total drama action. If you want to see other cool what would happen if videos, check out my channel and feel free to give suggestions in the comments. By the way, there is spoilers. So the previous finalists of the last season, Owen and Gwen, will be picking the teams, Gwen on the gaffers and Owen on the grips. In the original, Chris says ladies first, which means Gwen will pick first. Now because Trent isn't a team leader, Gwen will pick Trent. Owen will pick Izzy because he likes her. Gwen will then pick Leshana. Then I think Owen will pick DJ, Gwen will pick Duncan. Next Owen will pick Lindsay. And Leshana would tell Gwen to pick Heather. That means Owen gets Beth and Gwen gets Harold. So the teams only change by one player, but don't worry, the story changes a lot. So Gwen and Duncan will still become really good friends in this universe, but everyone wants Duncan to play the bad boy in this episode. Trent may want to play the bad boy because he thinks Gwen will like him more for it, but everyone will disagree and make Duncan play the bad boy. Izzy will still play the grandma, obviously. Chef and DJ will still form an alliance. Bug, now DJ is on the grips, Chef will help the grips. So Chef will show emotion to Izzy's performance. And the grips will win. And the gaffers will vote Duncan because he did bad on his performance. I skipped most of this episode because it isn't important, but because of Trent's number 9 obsession, everything would have 9. So the gaffers will lose because the castle will collapse. Episode 5 will change though. Gwen and Harold will land on the horse for the gaffers. And Owen, Lindsay, Beth, and Izzy for the grips. This means the Cowboy showdown won't be needed because it was a tiebreaker and the gaffers would lose again. Gwen and Trent will still break up, and I think everyone will vote Trent because they think he's creepy. The gaffers will still pick Lindsay. And the grips will still pick Gwen because she broke up with Trent. So I think Leshana will push for the gaffers and DJ for the grips. But now because Gwen doesn't have a deal with the other team, she won't throw the challenge. But now we need someone to return. But because Izzy is still in the game, I have absolutely no idea who would rejoin the game. The only person I can think of is Tyler. This is because he may want to see Lindsay. But because he's the only other person that would actually want to dig underground, I'm going to say Tyler joins the game. But because Izzy is a better digger than everyone else, and she is on the grips, also the grips finished the challenge without her. With her, the grips will 100% win. Tyler will join the gaffers though because they have less players, but now with no other players that could be out. Sadly, Heather will be voted out. This episode won't change. Leshana will still win the reward for the gaffers and she will cry. So they will say she should have the spa day. This episode doesn't change one bit. It doesn't matter who wins the challenge because DJ will still feel guilty and quit the competition. Episode 10 though will reveal Leshana's fake crying to win the spa day. Episode 11 will somewhat change. The gaffers will still win the first part of the challenge because Izzy still overdid it with the explosives. So the gaffers win the loot. And Leshana will still drink Owen's smoothie. But because in the original Leshana keeps farting, which gives the gaffers away. But now without Duncan's trap, the gaffers will 100% lose the treasure. Therefore they will lose the challenge. So if we are honest, they will probably vote Leshana because of what she did. Episode 13 would start off the same, with the grips unleashing the power of Owen and the gaffers ditching Tyler in the vault. But because Courtney doesn't like Gwen, she will give the loot to the grips. This means that Courtney will join the gaffers. But because the gaffers have Courtney and Harold, who are both good at mechanics, they will be able to build their getaway car. And also the grips have to deal with Owen. But the gaffers will still win. But this was tough to figure out. Because Beth and Lindsay won't vote each other. Owen and Izzy won't vote each other. But I think Justin will be voted. Because he wasn't trying to help in the getaway car building. And also Beth and Lindsay don't like him anymore and Izzy never liked him. The competition will be done like this. Harold will win the boxing. Beth will win the badminton. Courtney will win the wrestling. And Tyler will win the basketball. This means that they still need the cheerleading tiebreaker, But it doesn't matter what the gaffers do, because Chris will still obviously pick the grips for their Chris cheerleading. But an interesting detail, Heather and Leshana won't become friends in this universe, but now everyone is just gonna vote of Courtney, because nobody really likes her that much. For episode 16, nothing would change that much. Izzy would win the first challenge and Lindsay the second. So it will be Lindsay and Izzy going to the cheese factory. In episode 17, Lindsay will win the first half of the challenge, but here it's pretty obvious that Izzy would win, because she's so agile. Captain Alberta may be close, but still I highly doubt he will beat Izzy. So here I think that Harold will bring up a guy's alliance to Tyler and Owen and they will accept. But now they have to decide who to vote off, and I think it will be Gwen. This is because I don't think any of them see Lindsay and Beth as a threat. I also think that Tyler doesn't want Lindsay to be out, for obvious reasons, and he doesn't want Beth out because she is Lindsay's friend. I also think that Lindsay and Beth will vote for Gwen though. The reason for this is that, because Gwen broke up with Trent, the gaffers weren't really bothered about that, but I imagine Lindsay and Beth would be. So this means Gwen will be voted out. So episode 19, because Chris said that the two that won the last challenge would be the princess. So Lindsay's foot would be too big and Izzy would become the princess. So Owen will make it to the top, and Izzy will push him of giving her immunity. But now the guys' alliance will want to vote off Beth, which Tyler will refuse. Tyler will then tell Lindsay and Beth to vote for Owen. So with 3 votes to Owen and 3 votes to Tyler, it will be a tie. But I don't see Owen winning, unless it's an eating challenge. Tyler is better than Owen at anything else, so Owen will most likely be out. In the Rockstar episode, Owen will return. Harold's guitar will still set on fire. Owen will still fall off the stage. And Beth and Lindsay just won't be that good, so I imagine Izzy will win the first part. Lindsay will obviously win the second. And Izzy will obviously win the third. But now, because in this episode Lindsay votes herself on accident, this would still happen, but now because Owen, Izzy, and Harold voting Tyler, with only 2 votes to Owen, Tyler will be voted. Lindsay will apologize to Tyler, but I think that Tyler will forgive her and encourage Lindsay to win. In episode 23, Beth will win the first part of the challenge, because they clogged the broken window, and it doesn't matter what the order is, Izzy will obviously win this challenge. So now I think that the alliance will vote Beth, because she is smarter than Lindsay and more agile. But in this episode, Harold figures out Owen is a traitor, so Harold will probably vote Owen as well, meaning Owen is out. So in episode 20 for Top Dog, Lindsay will get the raccoon, Izzy will get the bear, Beth the chameleon, and Harold the shark.
Courtney, you look terrible! You should see the other guy.
But Lindsay will make it with the raccoon first, so she will win immunity. So I think Beth and Lindsay will vote Izzy because she is good at challenges, and Izzy and Harold would vote Beth, so this means it's a tie between Beth and Izzy. And because it's 2 people going home in this episode, I think Chris would just boot both of them. This means a finale is Harold and Lindsay. Each winner will get alternate endings.